Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're exploring some unconventional wisdom about careers and money.
Sounds interesting.
It is. We're taking a look at this fascinating conversation between Jay Shetty and this financial whiz, Cody Sanchez from the On Purpose podcast.
Okay.
And right off the bat, they hit you with this stat. 70% of millionaires are, get this, self-made.
Self-made.
Yeah. So that kind of tells you right there that, maybe there's a different path to wealth than what we're usually told. Go to college, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder.
Right. So what does Cody Sanchez say about this different path?
Well, what's really interesting is her emphasis on ownership. It's not just about earning a big paycheck. It's about owning assets, especially businesses.
Okay, I'm listening.
Apparently, a whopping 68% of millionaires have a business or equity in one.
Wow, that's a huge percentage.
Right. So how do we get in on that?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Well, Cody has this idea of expertise to equity.
Expertise to equity?
Yeah. So instead of thinking, oh, I need a ton of money to buy a business, think, what skills do I have that a business owner would pay for, even with part ownership?
That's a really interesting way to think about it. You're essentially trading your knowledge for a piece of the pie.
Exactly. And imagine a graphic designer. They're amazing at branding, right? They could partner with, say, a local bakery that's struggling with their marketing. The designer gets equity in exchange for, revamping the bakery's image.
I see. So we're not talking about becoming overnight millionaires with some app idea.
Right. Cody is all about what she calls Main Street businesses. The kinds we see every day, but maybe don't think of as wealth builders.
Got it. So what kind of Main Street businesses are we talking about?
Well, she's not just theorizing about this. Think about this. In 2022, the world's richest woman, she made her fortune not from tech, but from a roofing company.
Roofing?
Roofing.
That's not what I would have expected.
Right. It totally challenges our assumptions about what's sexy versus what's actually profitable.
So how does Cody break down these Main Street businesses?
Well, she has this system. There are the gateway drug ones, like vending machines.
Vending machines, okay.
Yeah. Simple, low employee, a good starting point.
Right, I can see that.
Then you've got the people light ones. Think laundromats, car washes. A bit bigger, but still not, employee heavy.
Okay.
And then there are the trades, the ones we might consider boring, plumbing, landscaping, cleaning services.
The boring but essential ones.
Yeah, but these can be cash cows. And guess what? Big private equity firms, they're scooping them up left and right.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, and that signals a huge opportunity for individuals who are willing to, learn the ropes.
That makes sense. But what skills do you need to make this happen?
Well, Cody lays out 3 that are essential. First up, deal making.
Deal making. So understanding how to buy and sell businesses, right?
Yeah. You got to understand, the language of money, how to evaluate a deal, how to negotiate effectively.
I see. So it's not just about finding a good business, it's about knowing how to acquire it.
Exactly. And it sounds like it's not just about the numbers, You also need that grit, that stick-with-itness that gets you through the tough times.
That makes sense. Building a business is hard work. You're going to face challenges.
For sure. You're going to face challenges, setbacks, and moments where you just want to throw in the towel. That's where grit and endurance come in.
The ability to keep going when things get tough.
Yeah. And the third skill Cody mentions is finding your who. Now, I'm a big believer in lifelong learning, but you can't be an expert at everything, right?
Absolutely not.
So recognizing that you don't have to know it all is crucial.
Right. It's about building a team.
Exactly. Building a team of advisors, mentors, partners.
People who can support you and fill in your knowledge gaps.
Yeah. And remember Cody's story about struggling with math.
Oh, right. Even financial experts have areas where they need support.
It's a great reminder that, nobody builds success alone.
Absolutely. And speaking of support, Jay Shetty actually shares a fascinating anecdote in the podcast. He was visiting this seemingly ordinary printing shop, just chatting with the owner. And what did he discover?
Whoa.
A hidden collection of incredibly valuable antique books.
Whoa, really? Just like that?
Just by being curious and striking up a conversation.
So it's not just about having the skills, it's about being curious,
Yeah.
right? Talking to people, exploring different avenues, being open to unexpected opportunities.
Exactly. You never know where that next golden nugget might be hiding.
Okay, so we've got the skills and the curiosity down. What about the mindset? Feels like there's something deeper at play here, too.
You're absolutely right. Cody hits on a crucial point. Moving from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance and opportunity.
Abundance and opportunity. I like that.
Yeah, instead of thinking there's not enough to go around, it's believing that there are always possibilities out there if you're open to seeing them.
So it's not just about the practical stuff. It's about believing in your own potential to create something amazing.
Exactly, and challenging those limiting beliefs that might be holding you back, because let's face it, we all have them.
All right, so we're building our skills, embracing curiosity, and shifting our mindset. But Cody also talks about the importance of partnerships.
Yes, and she has some pretty insightful rules for success in this area. First up, the 1-year rule.
The 1-year rule.
Yeah.
Wait a whole year. Isn't there a risk of missing out on a great opportunity if you wait that long?
That's a valid concern. But Cody argues that taking the time to really get to know someone before jumping into a business partnership is crucial. It's like a marriage, you know? You don't want to rush into something that could have long-term consequences.
It's about building that trust and understanding before making a commitment. That makes sense. What else does she recommend?
She stresses the importance of finding partners with complementary skills, not just people who are like you. Think about your own strengths and weaknesses.
You're saying if I'm a big picture person, but terrible with details, I need a partner who, loves spreadsheets.
Exactly. It's about leveraging each other's strengths to create a more powerful whole. And the final rule Cody emphasizes is ensuring your partners have a strong why.
A strong why. What does she mean by that?
They need to be deeply committed to the vision and mission of the business, not just in it for a quick buck. They need a reason that drives them, that keeps them going when things get tough.
It sounds like finding the right partner is just as important as finding the right business opportunity.
Absolutely. The right partnership can be a catalyst for incredible success. And speaking of success, remember that statistic we started with?
70% of millionaires are self-made.
Exactly. That's a powerful reminder that you have the potential to create wealth, even if it's not through the traditional path.
So where do we even begin to find these Main Street opportunities?
That's where it gets really interesting. Cody believes that as you develop your skill set and network, opportunities will start coming to you.
So the more I learn, the more people I connect with, the more likely I am to stumble across a hidden gem.
Exactly. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you position yourself as someone who understands business and is looking for opportunities, the more opportunities seem to appear. But Cody also mentions a couple of proactive approaches you can take. One is to actively search off-market by tapping into what she calls your reticular activating system.
Reticular activating system.
This sounds complicated. What is that
It's
exactly?
simpler than it sounds. Think about how, once you decide to buy a certain car, you suddenly start seeing that car everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's because your brain is now primed to notice it. The same thing happens with business opportunities. The more you focus on a particular type of business or industry, the more likely you are to spot potential deals that others might miss. So, if I'm really interested in, say, the pet grooming industry, I should start paying attention to all the pet grooming businesses in my area, see what they're doing, how busy they are, and so on.
That's a great example. Just by paying attention, you might notice a business that's struggling, an owner who's looking to retire, or an opportunity to bring a fresh perspective to an existing business.
So it's about training your brain to see opportunities that are already out there. What's the other approach Cody mentions?
It's something we've already touched on, having conversations with business owners and being genuinely curious.
So it's kind of like Jay's story about stumbling upon those rare books. You never know what you'll find just by, striking up a conversation. Think about your own neighborhood. What businesses are always busy? What problems do people constantly complain about needing to be solved? Those everyday annoyances could be your golden ticket.
Right. And it's a great way to uncover those hidden gems and get a feel for the local market. And here's another thought. Cody talks about how, private equity firms are snatching up boring businesses. What if instead of competing with them, we learned from them? They see the value in these businesses that a lot of us overlook.
That's a brilliant point. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, maybe we should be looking for those well-established, maybe even slightly boring businesses that have a proven track record.
Exactly. Think about the dry cleaner that's been a neighborhood staple for decades, the auto repair shop everyone trusts, or the local hardware store that's always packed. Those businesses have built a loyal customer base and a solid reputation. That's gold.
Okay, so how do we evaluate these businesses? I mean, I'm not a financial expert. How do I know if a business is actually a good investment?
That's where your who comes in handy. Remember Cody's emphasis on building a team of advisors and mentors. This is where they can really shine. A good accountant can help you analyze the financials. A business lawyer can guide you through the legal aspects. And experienced entrepreneurs can offer valuable insights based on their own journeys.
So it's about building that network of trusted advisors who can help you make informed decisions. What about the actual process of buying a business? Is it like buying a house where there are real estate agents and lots of paperwork?
It's similar in some ways, but there are also specialized business brokers who can help connect buyers and sellers. They often have access to off-market deals that you wouldn't find advertised publicly.
Off-market deals. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Well, imagine a business owner who's ready to retire but doesn't want to go through the hassle of, publicly listing their business. They might work with a broker to quietly find a suitable buyer. These off-market deals can be a great way to find businesses that aren't facing intense competition from other buyers.
So it's like finding a hidden treasure. But let's be real for a second. Not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. What are some of the personality traits or characteristics that make someone more likely to succeed in this kind of venture?
That's a great question. Beyond the specific skills we talked about, there are certain mindsets and personality traits that can be incredibly beneficial.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, think about someone who's naturally curious, who loves to learn new things, and isn't afraid to ask questions. That intellectual curiosity is essential for, navigating the ever-changing landscape of business.
It's about being a lifelong learner,
Yeah.
always seeking to expand your knowledge and understanding.
Exactly. And then there's resilience. Building business is going to have its ups and downs, its moments of triumph and its moments of frustration. Being able to bounce back from setbacks, learn from mistakes, and keep moving forward is crucial.
So it's not just about being smart or having the right skills. It's about having that inner strength and determination to persevere through challenges.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about creativity. Finding creative solutions to problems, coming up with innovative ideas, and thinking outside the box can be a real differentiator in the business world.
So we're looking for a blend of curiosity, resilience, and creativity. That sounds like a winning combination.
It's a great foundation for entrepreneurial success, but let's not forget about the human element. Building strong relationships with customers, employees, suppliers, and mentors is essential for long-term success.
So it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people.
Exactly. It's about building trust, fostering collaboration, and creating a positive and supportive environment for everyone involved in the business.
This has been incredibly insightful, but I have to ask, what about the risks? What if I invest in a business and it fails? What if I end up losing everything?
Those are valid concerns. There's no denying that entrepreneurship comes with inherent risks. But remember what Cody said about mindset. It's about embracing abundance and opportunity, not being paralyzed by fear. So how do we mitigate those risks? How do we protect ourselves while still pursuing these, exciting opportunities?
Due diligence is key. That means thoroughly researching any business you're considering investing in.
What does that look like in practice?
It involves digging into the financials, understanding the market, talking to customers, and getting a clear picture of the business's strengths and weaknesses. And remember, your team of advisors can play a vital role in helping you assess the risks and make informed decisions.
So it's about doing our homework, asking the tough questions, and not being afraid to walk away from a deal if it doesn't feel right.
Exactly. And speaking of deals, Cody shared some interesting insights about partnerships. She compared them to marriages, highlighting both the potential rewards and the potential pitfalls.
That's a powerful analogy. So how do we navigate the complexities of partnerships and increase our chances of success?
Cody emphasizes the importance of aligning on values and goals from the outset. If your partners don't share your vision for the business, it's going to lead to conflict and frustration down the road. So it's about finding people who are on the same page, who share your passion and commitment.
Absolutely. And it's not just about shared values, it's also about complementary skills and personalities. We talked earlier about the importance of finding partners who can fill your gaps and bring different strengths to the table.
Like the idea person partnering with the spreadsheet lover.
Exactly. And just as important as finding the right partners is structuring the partnership in a way that protects everyone's interests.
What does that entail?
It's about having clear agreements in place that outline roles, responsibilities, decision-making processes, and how profits and losses will be shared. Cody even recommends having a prenuptial agreement for business partnerships.
A prenup for a business. That's an interesting concept.
It might sound unconventional, but it's about being proactive and protecting yourself in case things don't work out as planned. It's not about being pessimistic, it's about being smart and having a plan in place to handle potential challenges.
So it's like saying, we're going into this with the best intentions, but let's also be realistic and prepare for any eventuality.
Exactly. And having those clear agreements in place from the beginning can actually strengthen the partnership by fostering trust and transparency.
It's about setting the foundation for a successful and sustainable collaboration.
Precisely. And speaking of sustainability, Cody also talks about the importance of building businesses that have long-term value that can potentially be passed down to future generations.
So it's not just about making a quick buck, it's about creating something that has lasting impact.
Exactly. It's about building a legacy, a business that can continue to thrive and benefit others for years to come.
That's a powerful vision. But let's bring it back to the individual listener for a moment. Cody talks about Main Street businesses, but those can encompass a wide range of industries and opportunities. How do we narrow down our focus and find the right fit for us?
That's where passion and personal interests come into play. Think about what truly excites you, what problems you're passionate about solving, what kind of work makes you feel energized and fulfilled.
So it's not just about finding a profitable business. It's about finding a business that aligns with our values, our interests, and our vision for the future.
Exactly. When you're passionate about what you're doing, it's no longer just work. It's a purpose-driven pursuit.
Mhm.
And that passion will fuel your creativity, your resilience, and your determination to succeed.
This has been an amazing conversation, but we've covered a lot of ground, and I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear what Cody and Jay have to say about the importance of mindset and how to cultivate the right mental framework for entrepreneurial success.
That's a great segue to our next section. Cody, there is some incredibly powerful insights about shifting from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance and opportunity.
Let's dive into that.
So Cody talks about how our beliefs about money and success can actually hold us back. We might think, I'm not good with numbers, or I don't come from a wealthy family, so I'll never be rich. These limiting beliefs, they can become like self-fulfilling prophecies.
It's like we're putting up these mental roadblocks that prevent us from even trying.
Exactly. But Cody argues that we have the power to change those beliefs.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, it starts with recognizing them, challenging them, and replacing them with more empowering thoughts.
So instead of saying, I'm not good with numbers, maybe I could say, I'm willing to learn, and I can get better at this with practice.
That's a perfect example. It's about shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, believing that our abilities and our circumstances are not set in stone.
It's about seeing challenges as opportunities for learning and growth, rather than like these insurmountable obstacles.
Exactly. And another key aspect of this mindset shift is focusing on abundance rather than scarcity. Instead of seeing the world as a pie with limited slices, it's recognizing that there's enough opportunity for everyone to succeed.
So instead of competing with others, it's about collaborating and supporting each other's success.
Precisely. And this ties back to Cody's emphasis on mentorship and community. Surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, who support your dreams, and who are willing to share their knowledge and experience can make a world of difference.
It's about finding your tribe, those people who will lift you up and challenge you to grow.
Exactly. And remember, mentorship isn't just about finding someone to give you all the answers. It's about finding people who will ask you the right questions, who will challenge you to think differently, and who will help you see your own potential.
So it's a two-way street. It's about learning from others, but also being willing to share your own knowledge and experience.
Absolutely. And speaking of sharing knowledge, Cody has some great advice for anyone who's feeling overwhelmed or unsure of where to start on this entrepreneurial journey. She says, start small, focus on one thing at a time, and be patient.
So instead of trying to do everything at once, maybe it's about picking one skill to master, one area to focus on, and building from there.
Exactly. And it's about remembering that success doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a journey, and it's going to take time, effort, and persistence.
So we need to be in it for the long haul. Embrace the challenges and celebrate the small wins along the way.
That's the spirit. And remember that statistic we talked about earlier? 70% of millionaires are self-made.
Right.
That means that with the right mindset, the right skills, and the right support system, you have the potential to create your own success, regardless of your background or your current circumstances.
That's incredibly empowering. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
It's this. You have more power than you think. You have the power to challenge your limiting beliefs, to embrace abundance, to learn and grow, and to create a life of purpose and financial freedom.
It's about shifting our perspective, taking ownership of our journey, and believing in our own potential to achieve extraordinary things.
Exactly. And Cody leaves us with a thought-provoking question. What ordinary business in your community could hold extraordinary potential?
It's a challenge to look around with fresh eyes, to see the opportunities that others might miss. Maybe it's the local bookstore, the coffee shop on the corner, or the family-owned restaurant that's been a neighborhood staple for generations.
The point is to start thinking differently about what constitutes a successful business and to recognize the potential that exists in those, everyday essential services that we often take for granted.
And remember, it's not just about identifying the opportunity, it's about taking action. Are you willing to learn the skills, cultivate the mindset, and build the relationships necessary to make it happen?
That's the challenge and the opportunity that Cody Sanchez lays out for us. So go out there, explore your community, and see what you can create. You might be surprised by what you discover.
This has been an incredible deep dive. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration. Until then, keep those minds curious and those entrepreneurial spirits ignited.